Hey there, Libra. Welcome to a reading for this week. This week you have this direction and journey card, and you also have this husband and marriage card. So, for those of you looking for a connection, definitely could be a new connection coming in for you here. I also think that every single person has had something about going on an adventure or a journey. This could be the fact that Mercury started moving forward in Sagittarius, of course, and we've been in the shadow, but now we're kind of getting out of the shadow of Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. So, Sagittarius is all about travel and adventure. Those are two things that kind of represent Sagittarius, and so for you, Libra, and for everyone else, we could just be feeling more adventurous because the energy has moved forward, and, it kind of makes sense to me. But an adventure could be anything. An adventure could be you, kind of learning something new, getting a new job, or just trying a new hobby or doing something different during the day. So, an adventure doesn't mean that you have to completely travel somewhere you've never been before. Could be anything. You have the Devil, the Queen of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles. It's interesting that you have the husband marriage card, then you have the Devil. But you do have the Empress and the Emperor, so there definitely could be a divine counterpart coming in for you. I kind of feel with the Devil that some of you feel cursed or something. With the Devil, and, I don't really believe in curses. If curses were real, I would be dead, so I don't really believe in curses. And, people always like to bring certain things up to me about curses and blah 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 blah. I protect myself because I figure it's free. Why not? Why not protect myself every single day? But the other thing is things like voodoo dolls. When you think about it, voodoo dolls back in the day, they put them on the person's doorstep. It's like they had to see it and believe they're cursed, and the mind is a powerful thing. So, I think it's pretty much BS. But what I would say here is that, I think that maybe some of you really what this is an attachment to your story, which a lot of us are overcoming. The nodes, it's kind of funny that the North Node, the node just moved and the North Node went into Pisces, South Node into Virgo. That North Node Pisces, I guess I could see how it's very kind of spiritual, of course, but it's also very much, illusions, things like that. And where I'm going with this is that I think a lot of us, Pisces, as a Pisces, I can say this, us Pisces, we hang on to our stories for too long. Something that happened to us in the past or whatever. So where I'm going with this again, let me get back on track here, Libra, is that with the North Node in Pisces, a lot of us could be working on those karmic stories. Not really karmic, but I'm just saying parts of our story that we hold on to. Could be that you feel like you're not good enough to have something, or maybe you feel like you're not meant to make money, or maybe you feel like you're never going to get something else that you want. And I kind of feel that energy with the Devil, that in your reading the Devil is talking about your attachments to certain parts of your identity that are really just a story that you've been telling yourself. And, obviously I would change the story with that card. I think everybody should, with the North Node in Pisces. You have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is about following your heart. We are in a very heart-based time. We have been for years, and, this will continue moving forward. So I would listen to what your heart is telling you to do. I would also listen to your intuition, of course. You even have the Empress, and, sometimes I think people forget how intuitive the Empress can be. And so I would be trusting your intuition. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles, say it with me, Libra, is the juice worth the squeeze? Basically your last year of your life has been asking this question. About the Seven of Pentacles, really can't make this stuff up. So you're the only sign that gets this every single reading, and the Seven of Pentacles is about a change in direction. Now we go up to the Five of Cups, and the Five of Cups, he's grieving the loss of his taste for wine. And so he is sad that he no longer enjoys drinking wine. And it's something that once brought him a lot of pleasure, and it doesn't any longer. So the Five of Cups is about releasing something that you think, or maybe it used to provide you with a certain feeling or energy or whatever. And it could be anything, could be anything. It could be a person, place, or a thing. And the Five of Cups is all about turning around and seeing something new. So again, I think you've been through this. You have been going through this period of releasing. Sometimes I think our story protects us, right? It's sometimes we do have part of our story, while it doesn't serve us in some ways, it can protect us from something. And again, I think it's time to change that. With Here You Go, with the Devil, you have the Two of Wands, comfort zone. Again, our story can become a comfort zone, so I think that leaving a comfort zone would be a good idea in regard to your story. And it could, I'm not really getting one energy or the other here, Libra. I think this could be about any area of your life. With the Queen of Cups, you have the King of Wands. King of Wands is about being brave, bold, and assertive. You always get these Wands cards with me as well. You definitely could be attracting a fire sign, but I kind of feel more that this is the energy that you need to be embracing, the energy of being bold, sort of really trying to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Death card. Yeah, it's definitely like I feel like the fruit here, which are the pentacles, are starting to rot. So, it's probably time for you to go through a transformation or make that change. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this unlocking solutions. It says, through compromise, you will create the successful outcome you're hoping for. Love it. You have this choose a path, which we kind of already said, and it says, there are many paths before you, but you may only choose one. And you have the Ace of Pentacles as your first card here. I'll show you in a second, but I think that there will be a path that appears for you that is very clearly a good path. So, the thing about the Ace of Pentacles is sometimes, I'll say this, Libra, the thing with the Ace of Pentacles is it's usually just an opportunity that has potential. So potential means nothing. Potential means what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So I love the Ace of Pentacles, but, just personally as a reader, I feel that the problem with the Ace of Pentacles is usually we do get an opportunity, but, whether we think it's going to be too much work or we're just not sure of the outcome, or, sometimes I think we're just not sure if we're even going to get an outcome. Because the Ace of Pentacles is like a promise, but promises can be broken. So sometimes the universe comes to us and maybe kind of inspires us to, start that business or write that book or start that YouTube channel or, do something. But, then we see all the work that needs to go into it and we're like, am I going to be able to do this or not? So I feel a little bit of that hesitation. Now, the solution to the Ace of Pentacles is to nurture the Ace of Pentacles into existence. There's this garden at the front of the card, so we really have to nurture it. And then you go down to the Empress, which is nurturing energy. So I feel you have the energy. And you also have the Judgment card, which is your true purpose, right? And so, I think that this could be you like kind of finding your true purpose. It kind of reminds me of like, what used to drive me nuts in school is like I went to school like everybody else and, little kids used to say in class like, oh, I want to be an NBA player when I grow up. And like over the years, I would hear teachers be like, yeah, but that's not realistic. And I'm like, yeah, well, sure, it's not, right? Most people don't make it to the NBA, but people do make it to the NBA. There are people who do it. And it used to drive me nuts when teachers would be like, yeah, that's not realistic, like just on the kid's dream, right? And I kind of get that feeling here. I'm not saying you're getting into the NBA, but what I am saying is, that you might have this dream that is a little bit out of reach or maybe seems a little bit impossible. But if someone has done it, you can do it, right? So I think you need to believe in yourself here a little bit, is what I'm trying to get at. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment or fulfillment in general. So, but really, with the Nine of Cups, we have to practice fulfillment. We have to match the energy of what we want, and if we match it, we will get it. So that's what I would do here. You have the Seven of Swords. Most people think the Seven of Swords is lying, cheating, stealing. Really, Seven of Swords is a good card. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. He is stealing these swords from this army in the background here. And so I always say the Seven of Swords is about doing something in a different way. With Pluto in Aquarius, definitely a time of Seven of Swords. We need to look at everything we're doing and we need to think, how can I do this in a better way? Is there another way that I can do what I'm doing right now? So like all activities and the people that search those things out are going to just be more successful. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Swords. Like I said, like a little bit of a stuck feeling here. I feel like you're unsure about whatever this Ace of Pentacles opportunity is. The Eight of Swords, the solution to the Eight of Swords is to realize that there are many ways to do everything. And if you stay focused, you'll be able to do it. Now, of course, there are some dreams that we just cannot accomplish. If you are missing both of your legs and you want to join the NBA, probably not going to happen. Sorry to on your dream like those evil teachers I had back in school, but probably not going to happen. But there might be a way you can get close, right? You could start a YouTube channel talking about the NBA. You're still living your passion. It's like sometimes we have a passion and maybe we can't do it, but, this right here is saying like, yeah, sure, maybe you're missing both of your legs. Maybe you have you're missing an eye or something like that. And this is saying, but how can you do it? How can you get close? And that's what I would be thinking of if something seems impossible. And you never know what could happen, right? Crazy things happen because of social media alone. So there you go. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Ace of Swords. Definitely a victory. If you get started. The Ace of Swords is also like living your truth. Queen of Cups is similar but different. Queen of Cups is following your heart. You could say that your heart is your truth, and I feel a lot of you are kind of like living your truth or moving towards the truth. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords. I would definitely work on changing your story around love or past connections, especially if you want a new connection. This looks very good, because the Emperor is showing up in the good stuff. But, with the Ten of Swords can say that you were stabbed in the back. And with the here's the other thing as well is with the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Swords could definitely represent lying, cheating, stealing now because we have the Ten of Swords. So I would be careful of past people. You have the Judgment card here, which could represent communication from a past person. But the other thing about the Ten of Swords is that usually the Ten of Swords represents a blessing in disguise. He's making this symbol with his hand right here, and it represents a blessing. And so some of you could be seeing how a past situation not working out is leading to your divine counterpart. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have the Surrender to the Divine card and the Step Out of a Comfort Zone card, which we've definitely already talked about this with the Two of Wands needing to step out of a comfort zone. The Surrender to the Divine card is probably the Queen of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles again. It doesn't make much logical sense to follow your heart if your heart is telling you that, you should, open up a cupcake factory out of your kitchen in your house. It's like, how is that going to pay the bills, So it's like usually our heart tells us to do something, but then we also get smacked by the real world and we are like, well, I have to support my family. So, again, I think that following your heart is probably one of the harder things to do in life because usually it doesn't make much logical sense. But again, you never know what could happen if you at least try. And, I think that's what the Surrender to the Divine card is saying. You have the Five of Cups, the Empress, and the Page of Pentacles. Again, he needs to realize that he no longer enjoys something from the past, and he needs to see these two cups because then he'll get this bridge and this castle. And, the Five of Cups is all about expressing gratitude for what you do have. I think once you start focusing on what you do have, things will probably turn around. Next, you have a very good card, the Empress, which is like total abundance, and peace and happiness and nurturing energy. I would definitely encourage you to nurture any new opportunities that come your way. I think, like I said, the thing with the Ace of Pentacles is the more we care for it, usually the bigger it gets or the better the better it becomes. And so, but again, there is a little bit of blind faith. Like, I get that energy from the reading is what I'm trying to say. Like, there's something about this reading that is saying to me that there's something that doesn't make logical sense necessarily, but something is going to require blind faith. But I feel that if you nurture whatever this opportunity is, it will be very successful for you, Libra. You have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is a new opportunity or something new coming in for you. So I feel for a lot of you that there is like a new opportunity coming in for you with the Page of Pentacles. Could be new love. Page of Pentacles can also sometimes represent communication, so there could be good news coming in with the Page of Pentacles. With the Five of Cups, Seven of Cups, yes. Again, Seven of Cups is an illusion. Seven of Cups, he is imagining something that he wants to accomplish, but there are good things and bad things in these cups. So he is imagining the outcome of something, but he's not sure if it's going to be good or bad. The secret to the Seven of Cups is he just has to do it. He just has to find out. He can't keep just thinking about something that he wants to do. He has to do it and he actually has to find out, right? With the Empress, you have the Chariot. Very good. Chariot is about heart control. We have two cards of control, like actual control in the Tarot, Chariot and the Strength card. Strength card is soft control, but the Chariot is about really taking control of the direction of your chariot. Now he does this with as above, so below. He's got these stars up here, these moons right here, and so he is just in alignment with what he wants. And he also does not know where he is going. These two sphinxes here, they are not attached to the Chariot. There are no reins, really, and they represent the mysteries of the universe. So he is in alignment with what he wants. He's going to start his cupcake factory out of his kitchen in his house, and he's just going to see where it goes. And he's doing it because he's feeling inspired, and he also knows that it brings him into alignment, and he's trusting that the universe is going to get him to where he needs to go. So again, this is kind of like a little bit more of that blind faith type of energy going on here, Libra. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands. You have all the sevens now in this reading. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says, when you know that you know, when you truly believe deep down inside that you are going to be successful, that's when you will be successful. So, a lot of stuff coming up here about your belief system. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Ego card and the Synchronicity card. This could be good because sometimes when we don't trust our synchronicities, I think that is ego. Like, how many times have you asked the universe for a sign, you see a repeating number on the clock, and then you ask for another sign, right? In some ways, that is ego, right? Because we're not trusting the sign that's coming in. And so I feel for a lot of you that you are trusting the signs, and that is, of course, a good thing. You have the Emperor, the Moon, and the Judgment card. The Emperor is also about taking control. He takes control of opportunity. He has his armor on underneath his cloak here, and he's sitting on this throne. And so he is, but the armor represents the fact that he's ready to go at a moment's notice. So whenever an opportunity presents itself, he takes advantage of it, and he does not wait, right? And so I think that you could be embracing that energy. I also do think that, of course, not really like a major love reading, but I do feel that this could be a divine counterpart that's coming in. You have the Moon. The Moon in the good stuff would represent gaining clarity. Usually during the Moon we can't see things very clearly. The Moon kind of represents a time of illusion, but coming up in the good stuff, this would kind of represent you breaking the illusion, or breaking through an illusion just in general. You have the Judgment card. Again, I think that you're answering some sort of call here. Ace of Pentacles, Empress, to the Judgment card. This is your higher self, angel, and he is calling these people up out of these coffins. The coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin represents their new life. So again, with the Devil, I think removing your attachments to your old story is going to be the thing that sets you free. And so, if I were you, that's all I would work on. Like, this is a great reading, but, I would just be working on that old story, right? With the Emperor, you have two cards here. You have the Three of Cups and the Hanged Man. The Three of Cups is about like celebrating, having fun. I do think it's a great time to socialize for everyone. So the Three of Cups is a card of socializing, and it could just be a great place, so being social with people you care about could be great for you to get out of your head. The Hanged Man also kind of says like, you are ready. The Hanged Man in the good stuff, he's hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom, and his head is glowing on this card. So he has gained enlightenment on his journey. He knows what he needs to do next, and I feel for a lot of you that this right here is just saying you are ready for your next steps. With the Moon, you have the World. Yes, an accomplishment. What, didn't you have a card like this? It said something about maybe not, I could be making it up, although, this card does say you will create the successful outcome you're hoping for. The World is an accomplishment. Could be an outcome, but, we don't necessarily think of the world as an outcome, but, definitely could be a positive outcome or an accomplishment coming in with the world. With the Chariot, also some of you could be thinking about moving. The Moon, to me, would just, and also the Ace of Swords really would say to me that you're just thinking about it at this moment. But if you are thinking about moving, this kind of gives me the vibes that you are going to move. Maybe not like this second, but, maybe soon. You could be thinking about moving, and you probably will. With the Judgment card, you have the Page of Pentacles again. Yeah, see, there is like some sort of news. I would be paying attention. I would be paying very close attention to the communications that you're receiving, or people that are communicating with you just in general, because, again, the Page of Pentacles can represent receiving a message. But this message could be about this Ace of Pentacles opportunity. You have this Hand card. It says, in need of help, assistance, or guidance. Three of Cups, if you need help, ask for it for sure. I think that Three of Cups says there are people who are very close to you that can assist you on your journey. So I would definitely open up to assistance. You have this Wind Chimes card. It says, peace and harmony. You always get these cards of peace and harmony with me. I'm pretty sure it's you, and you're a Libra, which is peace and harmony in a lot of ways. So, I don't know, I think this is kind of like you just being in your nature. You have this Elephant card. It says, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. So yes, the Chariot, the World, the Ace of Pentacles, this opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles could be something that takes a long time, or it could be something that you do for a long time and it will leave you wiser at the end. I mean, you have the Hanged Man, which is a card of wisdom, so, he's hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom. So you could be gaining a lot of wisdom. You have this Boat card. It says, money or property through inheritance, winning, or windfall. So there definitely could be an increase in your finances, or you could just be increasing your finances in general, with this Boat energy. You have this Eye card. It says, psychic ability. Trust your intuition. So I feel for a lot of you it is definitely time to trust your intuition with the Eye card. I think it'll lead to a lot more success. But this looks really, really good here, Libra. I love this. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.